Three things Baba Mohbad requested for his son Mohbad, which he did not do till he passed on. Hello, everyone. You're so much welcome on Compliments of the Season. We started this episode on the last video where we talked about what Mama Mohbad said. Mama Mohbad has unveiled everything from the time she met Baba Mohbad and all of that. If you want a full recount on that, you can check the previous video, but I'll just do a quick summary before we go into the continuation. She talked about how she met her husband, they were in love, they got married, they had children, but they were living in abject poverty. And she was the one that would do petty and menial jobs and paid his way through theology school of Prophet Abiara. And that after all the suffering and everything, she decided to get a grinding machine, rented a small shop where she was grinding pepper and all of those things. And she was always giving the money to Baba Mohbad, but at a particular point, she refused to give the money to him, which was 3,500 naira. And that was the beginning of the problem. And it frustrated her. He called her names and, all those kind of things. And that they had a neighbor then whose wife was younger than her and whose husband was from our own village. And the wife traveled out of town. Then she prepared food and went to give it to the husband of, the neighbor, the husband. And her husband now saw her and alleged that she was knacking the man. And that's why he chased her away that night. And she went to sleep in her shop. And the next morning, she came back home, but he chased her away with Obe. And she ran to her parents' house, and her father said, "No, you can't stay here. We told you not to marry him." And that's how she started being alone. And later, after pleading and pleading, Baba Mohbad allowed her to come and pick the last child, that's Adura, that she had for him, who was a baby. But after receiving Adura, Adura was constantly falling ill. And whenever she takes him to the hospital, Baba will say that he doesn't have money, that the child will buy before he's 1 year old, because the child is a BASTARD. So those were the things she talked about. And I think she also added that after she ran away, what again? Okay, so that she's not surprised that Baba is calling Liam a B, that was the same thing he did to Adura at that time. And that when Wumi and her were not very close for long, but it was when Wumi put to bed and Mohbad wanted her to come and take care of his son, and that was how she now started knowing Wumi. And Baba did not like it. Baba said they shouldn't allow her touch the baby because she's a witch. But Mohbad did not respond to that and allowed his mom to take care of his son and all of that. That Baba knows that it is Mohbad that gave birth to Liam, but just trying to frustrate Wumi. And their fight started from placenta, which they refused to hand over to Baba, and the money for naming ceremony of 250k, which Baba requested to go and do his own version of naming ceremony in Ikorodu. I think I've covered that. And she also said that Mohbad ensured that she and Baba, settled their quarrel and planned a wedding for them in October before he passed away on the 12th of September. And that Mohbad got them an apartment, and Baba is the one that did all the furniture. He's a carpenter. Did all the furniture in the house, and he comes to sleep over. So that was where we stopped the other time. I just did this quick recap for those who had not watched it. So let's go into the continuation. I'm going to quote what she said. Mohbad was a very peaceful person who never liked his business outside. If he was alive to see all this drama and interviews, he would never be happy. Mo's father told him to do three things for him. So this is where we are now. Build a house, buy him a car, and build a church. And Mo didn't grant these requests. So Baba categorically stated that he wanted Mo to build him a house, build him a church, and also buy him a car. One day I called him for a mother and son talk, and I begged him to buy his dad a car. He got mad and flared up at me. God will judge Joseph because I was fighting for him at his back. I sent Wumi to talk to Mo about the car. Within 3 days, they bought the car. It was after this that my son got a shop for me. I have been staying with them for a while to babysit, but I left on Saturday, a day to the Ikorodu show. He promised to pay me a visit on Monday after the show, but he never showed up. I became worried because it was unlike him. I called him and his wife, but their numbers were not available. At 12 p.m., I was praying when I saw Mo's spirit in a vision walk past me. I called his phone. It was not available, so I called the wife and she said he was sleeping. She said they both slept together in the same room through the night, but that he had a minor injury at the show. On Tuesday, September 12th at about 3 p.m., I called Umi to ask her something when she started shouting and crying on the phone. Mom, please come right away. Don't let me become a widow. I thought it was the usual beating that they used to beat more. I was shaking. I called the dad to let us meet so we could go to the hospital. Mo's sister too called and we all went. That's blessing. At the point, nobody was picking calls again. We were almost at the hospital when my younger sister called us that we should go to Mo's house. Someone also called the dad. That was when I heard Mo had passed away. I cried and shook Mo's dad. The dad said it was money that buyed him. So those were words. It was money that buyed him. I didn't understand that statement. Was my son as rich as Dangote? Why would money buy him? I was running mad. When we got to the bus stop that led to Mo's house, we saw a huge crowd from there down to the house. I couldn't enter the house. I sat outside on the floor, asking everyone what happened. When they were taking him into the ambulance, I shouted that they should not bury him because I knew he would wake up. I stood in front of the ambulance and I was screaming that he must not be buried. They had to take me away. Upon all the beating and suffering, what could have buy more? I lost my senses. Nigerians, please stop cos Liam. He's an innocent baby. He's the only one more left for me to be looking at. Nothing must happen to Liam. So, these are our words. And okay, let's do a bit of analysis as much as we can. All of this, well, is narrating how she got to know, his later parts and all of that. And yes, in this 2023, nobody can say anybody cannot talk. Baba has granted several interviews, so it's okay for Mama to come out to want to, talk about her own side of the story. But one thing which we can see in all of this is maintaining an objective stand. I don't think Mohbad's father and mother have done a good thing to Mohbad's demise. I think it's a highly dysfunctional family, like a lot of families are, but the measure of dysfunctionality, is what varies from some families to some family. I'm not saying all families are dysfunctional. I'm just saying that we can't pretend that we don't know that a lot of families have these kind of traits of kigba, of not coming together for a common good to focus on what is important. Now, all the story of DNA, kiniko, that very dark man brought up and Baba decided to swallow and said Nigerians are asking. Well, some people will agree to say, okay, yes, Baba has the right to ask. But Baba said it as well in voice notes that we heard with a blogger that, it recorded, not a voice note like that, a recorded conversation between Baba and Tolani Ilesomi, or any one of these bloggers, where he said that he knows that it is his son that has Liam. And the blogger asked him to say, so why are you joining in this narrative? And he couldn't give an audible answer. As much as possible, anybody can believe whatever sentiments they want to bring into this table. But I think when it comes to things as heavy as paternity request, it's not something we can joke around with. It's not, because a life is involved. That boy will grow up. The internet never forgets, and watch all the things that goes around. All the things that goes around. And he said, and like Mama has said, and like Wumi has said, that when Wumi was struggling to get pregnant, she ran to Baba, and Baba took her to mountains. They fasted, they prepared holy water for her, and in just 2 or 3 months, she got pregnant. So we cannot underestimate Baba's good gesture. Anything anybody has done right, let's give the person the flowers, right? But if the person has fallen short or is inconsistent with some things, of course we have to talk about it. Whether it's who you agree with or who you don't agree with. Well, we've heard Mama's side of the story of the fact that she had to run out of the house. They chased her with an obey and all of that. But it's still not an excuse for her to have left her son for 10, 15 years. It's not an excuse. A mother will always find how to see her child. Yes, of course, she might get married to somebody else, just the way Baba got married to another woman and another one after that. But a mother must not leave a child. Assuming Mama Japa to another country, we can say, oh, maybe it was difficult traveling back because of papers, documents, and all of that. But in this same country, 10 years without seeing your son is not excusable. Yes, Baba can be oloro, kò gbéná sórí bí Ṣàngó, kàn di iná lójú iná lẹ́nu. But as a mother, the memories of those times you will sneak to see your child. Baba will not lock a child in the house 24/7 now. There's always a way. Even if it's to go to school, your child should wave at you from afar. The child will always remember that my mom made several attempts to see me. You don't leave a child. The child did not beg to come to the world. We should not say because we sabi knack or we are entitled to knack with the husband or wife we marry. When the child now come, we'll now say because of something and something. No. You have to do parenting. You can't run away from parenting. No matter the scoin way they head of husband and wife, you have to parent. You have to parent. There's no excuse. And that's why this family, like I said earlier, without any apologies, is a highly dysfunctional family. Papa has his own palaver. Mama has her own palaver. And honestly, they are the two that will carry this thing the most. The allegations of whether Wunmi is the one that by which I would not join force to do because there's no evidence that says she's done that, and because the law says everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and it's saner to her to say a 24-year-old lady who has been with a man for 10 years of her life, from when he was in abject poverty to when they started making money, with all the travails that went through with the studio record owner, and a video that I saw Wunmi that was shared online stay in front of an what are they called, NDLEA boss and Mopo man who was holding a baga kind of thing, and she was accosting the man. So those kind of things are not making the puzzles hard to say she has a hand in it. I'm not saying she does or she doesn't, but I choose not to go against what the law says, number one, and I choose to believe she did not do it until it's proven that she does it. Because false allegation is something that is very heavy. So this platform does not believe that she did until it's proven that she did. And this platform is not part of those who will be cursing either Baba Mohbad himself or Mama Mohbad herself or the innocent child. We keep it sane here. It's a story that is unfolding, and we should be patient enough to watch and not just come and drop comment here. Please, if you do try to drop it here, you might just be blocked. Because like I said, there are platforms that will welcome you with your various causes to any one of them and give you a chairmanship position chair for the cause. But here, a kì í ṣépè níbí. Bó bá ṣe yé olúkálùkù sí bó ṣe yé mi yàtọ̀ sí bó ṣe yé yín, bó ṣe yé yín yàtọ̀ sí bó ṣe yé mi. But we can share ideas, we can share our thoughts. But èpè bí ẹni tí ò láyọ̀, just dropping èpè up and down. Sometimes when I see, and that's my concern really with Baba, to say Baba's blogger, who we all know, will come out, and I wonder how people can sit down and every day continually for what you're not a part of. And what you should know that when it comes to a man and a woman, there are so many things involved. There are so many dynamism that even both of them might not understand. And you're swallowing everything one person said and seeing the other person as a demon. It doesn't make sense. Except you've not been in a relationship for long, that you understand that so many things come to play. And things will always change. events will always occur. So all this cause, ká máa gbé ọ̀rọ̀ parí, ká máa ṣépè fọ́mọ, ọmọ tí ò lẹ́ṣẹ̀, ká máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, it's not what is going to sort it. And that's why everything is just so scattered. Now, what is the relevance of this? Mama said this, Baba said this. Of course, like I said, they can talk. But stepping above that, it's a case of, why are we so distracted that the focus of the justice we are looking for is not even, we are not even talking about it anymore? If this energy that is used to shepe is what we are focusing on, Baba, go and do the test however you want to do it. But you're distracting the focus of justice. We are not calling out the authorities for us to know what is the autopsy report. And even if the government or the police have the autopsy reports, they should give us an update. Of course, they're not going to share it online. They don't operate like that. So what push is being given to the right? Because we can come online and be doing shepe from now till tomorrow. People think that they don't understand that before èpè wìjà, Yoruba will say, ó ṣòwe àwọn àgbàlagbà. Èpè máa ń rò kó tó jà ni. So you should be watchful who you are shaping for. If you shape for somebody who has really wronged you or done something wrong, of course, it can have express entry. But if the person has not done it, you better be careful, because when the èpè wants to come back to you and yours, you will forget that you've been doing èpè for what was not. So àwọn tó lọ́gbọ́n tó lóye, I see the way they do talk about these things. Yes, expressing their displeasure at whoever. Of course, you can be upset with Baba Mohbad, or you can be upset with Mama Mohbad or Wunmi. It's fine. But not for you to be dropping curses that are going nowhere. Oh, nowhere. Nobody can feel the pain of that boy's death beyond the people that really loved him at one time or the other. I stand to be corrected. Everybody is doing their own lives. We all have a form of things we are all battling in our own families. Would you come online and share those kind of insecurities and expose your siblings, your father, your mother, or your child or grandchild? Those that are shaping, do they have the pictures of their children or their dysfunctional family online and causing or doing fracas with their own family? Could make sense now. It doesn't make sense. We are distracted. It's now very obvious that this is a very dysfunctional family. Now, I'll keep saying that unapologetically. But what we are looking for, the main cocoa is, I'm not against DNA. Please, let's get it right. I've always said that. If they want DNA, DNA should be done. And I think they've started the discussion within the lawyers where they said it has to be done in 3 places, maybe 2 places in Nigeria and 1 place outside Nigeria. So it's a talk between the lawyers. And of course, I am not supporting Mumi cursing Baba Mohbad. I understand that she was highly provoked. And honestly, nǹkan tó lúkálùkù lè gbà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. It's very different. What I can take and look away, some people cannot look away. And for the fact that the cursing on her child has been going on for so long, and if she decided to speak, and that's the problem with people who don't speak on time, because once they speak, they scatter everywhere. Like I said, I'm not for her cursing her father-in-law, but it's done already. Is she going to apologize? That's left for her to do. But that was not the best option for her to have taken. And that's the truth of the matter. So on this case of Baba Mohbad and family, and his highly dysfunctional family, with the father and the mother as confused as whatever it can be called, are not helping matters at all. Yes, you both express yourself. Yes, one blogger is talking, another is talking. If you guys don't put your acts together, you might never get justice for your son. Do you understand that there are a lot of high-profile kpai that has happened in this country? High-profile people. Until tomorrow, nothing is heard about them. Nothing. These are people who have even made something out of their life, so to speak, and they have age on their side. They have businesses. They don't maybe politics or enterprise. And they've kpaied. And nothing has been heard about those who did it. And if you, this dysfunctional family, are still going about all this, your internal messy more stuff, and not about focusing on what by that boy, you will just be talking about #justice for Mohbad, but you might not get it. It's not the cause, but it's just being realistic. See you in the next video. Be real.